What's up YouTube, Webberz05 here, coming at you today with a new video of just my personal top 5 moments of times that I outplayed my opponent. So guys, one of the most fun things in the game that some people find is when you get stuck in a difficult situation but you find this really crazy or really smart way of getting out of it. It's moments like that which make me really love the game, so I just want to share with you guys some of my top 5 moments of the times I did those. So starting in at number 5, which kind of is a bit of an honorary mention because it wasn't so much of me outplaying my opponent, it was more so much as my opponent was stuck in a position because they didn't read what my cards did. And this was during a tournament I had in October in 2021, which was against Despia, and I did one of the rare things a person could do in life, which was negated a super poly because my opponent didn't read what Magician's right hand does. So that alone just makes me feel pretty satisfied. Super poly, as everyone knows, gives the officials, is pretty much the reason we have the unofficial term of speed spell 4, meaning a card you can't respond to. So, as most people know, super poly can't be responded to, which means there's no easy way to stop it. However, because Magician's right hand is a continuous spell that negates effects and it doesn't activate, it can stop super poly. And my opponent didn't realise that when they activated it. So yeah, that felt pretty good, not gonna lie. So again, kind of a semi-honorary mention because I didn't exactly outplay my opponent. They just kind of didn't read what my cards did. But that was kind of the reason that I activated it in the first place, because I was expecting the super poly. Okay, coming in at number 4 is a tournament match I had against Dark Magician 84, which was essentially just me being able to OTK with Endymion through a dimensional barrier. I kept trying to look through my channel to see if I could find the video so I could potentially link it down or mark its date in case anybody wanted to check it out, but I can't seem to find it. Richie, if you happen to be watching this video, if you know which match this was, if you could send me the link, that would be great, because I'd love to be able to try and find that in my channel if I forgot it. But yeah, so essentially, Dark Magician went first. We had a very long game 1, which I ended up winning. Went to game 2, he started, hit me straight up with a D barrier, which I knew was going to slow me down for most of it. However, off the fact that I opened Magician's Souls and what was it? Sorry guys. But I opened the Magician's Souls and I had Magician's Restage. Off those 2 cards, I was able to go into an access code talker and just take it. And just what would have been taking the game if we hadn't gone to time. What would have been taking the game if we hadn't gone to time, but essentially Dark Magician did kind of know from that position no life points were going to change with the amount of time we had left, but he was kind enough to let me at least play through and to see what I could do under the dimensional barrier, because I just wanted to test my skill level and see what I can do. And turns out I was able to play just fine under it, because I just went Special Magician's Souls, link off into Artemis, restage it back, sack off the restage to draw a card, link into Crowley. Crowley was able to grab me the normal blue boy, get a search, link into Selene. Selene res one of my spellcasters, link that into an access code. So yeah, it was pretty decent. Who needs pendulums to play Pendulum? Yeah, but that was a pretty decent kit. But yeah, I can't seem to find the video anywhere, so yeah, Dark Magician, if you know where that video is, link me up. Coming in at number 3 is another match I had with Dark Magician, which was back in 2020 on March 14th. Tournament match when I was playing Endymion against his Rocket deck. Dark Magician himself actually said this was a pretty decent way of how I outplayed him in his move. So basically, I set up I was testing around some extra mythical beasts into my engine at that time. So I had a field of Reflection, Mighty Master, each with a spell counter, and Mythical Beast Medusa with spell counters. So Dark Magician goes into a Borrow Load, knowing that I can't use Medusa on it because it can't be targeted by monster effects. Quick thinking, I I read through Mighty Master to check its wording restriction. Mighty Master only prevents my opponent targeting it with effects. So I thought to myself, okay, so how I see the board, Richie's going to go into battle phase, rob my Mighty Master, and then use it to smack over one of my monsters. So what I did is start a battle phase. Before he declared an attack, activated the effect of Medusa, removed 2 spell counters, lowered the attack of my own Mighty Master, dropping it to 1400, making it weaker than all of my other monsters, so to make it less viable of a target. So instead, Dark Magician goes declare attack into the Reflection, take control of that, and then smack over the Mighty Master for 450, which was not as much damage as I would have taken if he had done one of the other things, if he had attacked into something else. But it also got me the benefit. One second. Sorry about that. But naturally, Dark Magician wanted the Mighty Master of the field to get rid of the spell trap negation. But the advantage I had in the situation was because it was destroyed in battle with a spell counter. I got to rotate for a normal spell card, which pretty sure just let me turn the game around, which was great. And if anybody wanted to watch that video, I will leave the link to it down in the description. Okay, at number 2, I spent a good bit of time checking through my channel to see if I could find it. I can't seem to find it anywhere. So I feel I might not have recorded this match, but it was a match I had around during Bird Up format. It was against my friend Max. So I think this was game 3 we were in, with a couple minutes left on the, with like 2 to 3 minutes left on the clock. Max goes first, sets a revolt, something else on the back row, and he ends on a Trispina. With me knowing, okay, if I set up scales or a field spell, if I activate a scale or a field spell, he's just gonna go revolt, special back. You can put something up, and then Trispina will automatically trigger, taking out my scale, which essentially would mean I would lose. So, but drew into my top deck, I drew into Magician Souls. So I thought to myself, okay, how do I... I've got Magician Souls. I can force Trispina to activate at this point, which is exactly what I did. I sacked off a Spellcaster, special the Magician Souls to the zone, specifically to the zone Trispina pointed to, while I had no spells or traps on my field. The mandatory effect of Trispina would activate, taking out Max's back row. He did, knowing that since I wouldn't have any monster stuff on the field, there would be minimum point in doing going into a revolt into a charade to try and get rid of one of my cards. However, he still naturally opted to activate the revolt to naturally get all the beneficial effects you get from sending the Tri-Brigades back into the graveyard, which was fine and made sense. Sorry guys, I've been really tired recently. So yeah, but that's only part of how I outplayed him with it. Because after the Trispina resolve taking out his back row, now that I knew that he had nothing else to go off of, I just went triple tactics, take control of the Trispina, normal summon a monster, link into Access Code. Access Code doesn't specify your graveyard of the link rating that it has to target, it just says link rating of a monster that was used. So I was able to target the Trispina, smacked direct for 53, which gave me higher life points going into time. Oh, that was an insane play. God, I wish I could find that video and watch that back over. But yeah, it was sometime during Bird Up format, pretty sure. And guys, finally going into my number 1 moment of the timeout. I didn't technically mark this one as one particular moment I did it, because for me, the best times that I've outplayed my opponent is probably the best times that most people have been outplaying their opponent ever since the card's released, which is any time I've done a Korakara Div Incarnate against someone. Guys, to be honest, when you do a Div Incarnate against someone, it's probably one of the most satisfying things that you can do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that's basically just how she works. She's like, a monster that can only be summoned because your opponent has done something, and typically they're only going to do something because they're trying to stop you. So it's basically just a card that says, okay, you've tried to stop me from you've done a lot of stuff to try and stop me. Now now you're going to pay for doing that. Get rid of all your stuff. Div Incarnate, huge buff, smack. So yeah, I don't really have like one specific moment that I've done something pretty insane with Div Incarnate, but I think probably a couple ones that's, like, in my opinion, two that stand out are one time I did it, a time that I did it against Sword Soul, which I do have the video of, which was from March 13th, which was at a tournament in Tabletop Republic. So I baited through a Baron and a Chi Chow, tributed them both off, made Div Incarnate, and then went for a smack for game, which was really fun. I think the other one moment I've done with Div Incarnate that stands out for me, I didn't actually have this match recorded, but I do remember it quite clearly. I did it, there was back when Kashtira was at more full power, when they still had Mind Hacker. So guys, I think you can tell what I did there. I naturally just did one monster effect and then activated one monster effect, tributed the entire Kashtira board. Because on Simple Put, my opponent had Shangri-La, Mind Hacker, a Rise Heart, and a Fenrir. So all I did was, all I simply did was, normal summon Blue Boy, mandatory effect has to activate. Then he just goes, cool, Fenrir, banish it face down, and then all the other effects go off, and I'm like, cool, tribute. 6k buff Div Incarnate. Unfortunately, I didn't have a way to put the addition. Unfortunately, I did not have a way to put the additional 500 on the field, but it was enough damage to basically secure me the win. That was so much fun. And guys, that's going to be all the moments that I'm going through today. Leave a comment down below, guys, on what you thought of these moments. And like I said, I will leave links in the description to any of the videos that I do have of these moments. And also, guys, feel free to comment down below of some of your best moments that you've done in outplaying your opponent. I would also very much like to hear moments that you like, some of the best Div Incarnates you've done. That would be great to hear. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.